Good morning, everyone, from another sunny, beautiful Victoria Falls morning. And it's been a little while, actually, so I must apologize. Things have kind of caught up with me because I think COVID kind of ended and we're starting to get tourists back.
Yeah.
Anyway, without going too much into detail about that, I think you may recognize some of the personalities that are joining me here today. We're at the beautiful Zambezi Boutique, which is underneath the teak trees, overlooking the Zambezi River. And I've got Blessing Munyeyiwa next to me, who is the vision behind this property. Blessing, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And for all your hospitality.
No, only a pleasure. Only a pleasure.
Next to Blessing, we've got Jose Sax.
Yeah.
Joseph, incredible saxophonist, one of Zimbabwe's finest, and up and coming. I think he's going very, very many places. So thank you for joining us as well. And then we've got Tinashe. Tinashe, back again in the falls. Can't stay away from home. It's great to have him back as always. And actually, the reason how we managed to get everybody here together is that last night Blessing invited us to a kind of private function, and he gave us a wonderful meal, 5 courses, showed off the great cuisine that your boutique has to offer. And in between each course, or during each course, sorry, we were having wine which was paired by Tinashe, and he gave us some more fascinating insights behind that. And Joseph, meantime, and his band were playing beautiful jazz music in the background. So that's the history behind it, and I'm going to try not to talk too much now, but I'm first of all going to come through to Blessing.
Yeah.
Blessing, we've come out of COVID, thank goodness. It was a tough period, but
yeah,
talk us a little bit through that. And where we're sitting now is kind of a COVID child.
Absolutely. As you know, COVID was a really downer for all of us, for Zimbabwe in particular. The tourists that we used to get, all of a sudden, I think in that last year, we had probably one of the best years since independence, if I can remember.
Right.
And we were just excited talking about it, and March came around the following year where we thought we were even going to exceed, and everything sort of closed down. So 2 years was hard, but during that 2 years, I think like you, we all got to relook at things, we all got to restructure. It was probably a pause button for all of us, and Zambezi Boutique was born during that time. Labor of love, we'd call it, during COVID, and that's where we are here today.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think we've ended up being neighbors, although
Yes.
this town is not that big. We're always kind of neighbors.
Exactly,
But whilst you were building here, we were building across the road,
yeah.
and it was wonderful to see progress
Yes, absolutely.
taking place on your side, and
almost moving in at the same time.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And you've been incredibly kind to us. Your swimming pool, I think our kids have swum in there more than any of your guests.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, it's their pool basically.
Yeah.
And it's been so nice to see them. And we're all about families here, as you know. So anytime we can get them to run across the road, it's an honor to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll come back and talk a little bit more
Yeah, absolutely.
about that just now. Joseph, I just want to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about I don't know enough about you. I'm embarrassed to say, because last night sitting there and listening to you, I was just blown away. And again, another example of a Zimbabwean with so much talent in his field. And you deserve every success. But tell us a little bit about your story, because I read up a little bit. I think you started playing sax 14 or 15, or was it even earlier?
Earlier.
Okay, but you started to really focus on it at that age. You tell us the story.
So I think I'll give also Mr. Blessing some time to say something. Why? Because he is the one who has really seen us grow. So if someone sees you from a distance, they can tell the story of how you actually went up. From my personal experience, I can say about 11 years ago, I was a drummer. I used to play drums and I was focusing on drums. Then there's a guy called Hiram Koopman who came from South Africa. He just played on a show. Then I was like, wow, can I do this? So I decided to run away from drums, but there are a lot of drummers. So I looked for something really unique in Zimbabwe, and no one really was focusing on the saxophone, basically the brass instruments. Then I went up to Hiram and I asked him, are you able to teach me? Then he says, yeah man, you can go for it. So first 2 years I was soft-touch.
Wow.
Then the third year I managed to go to Italy, where I got my almost like a 3-month course, but I would do like 3-hour drills every day for 60 days. So he was really tough on me. When I came back, I was lucky to meet Mr. Blessing, who really gave us an opportunity. I remember one of our first big events was Vifor's Carnival. When we went there, he gave us 45 minutes to play, and at 30 minutes I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. Then I just walked off stage. He was really mad at us. Oh guys, come on, it's not how we do things. But yeah, it was like a really good experience because we were learning
Right.
to perform. We were learning how to
go the distance.
you know. So from then he started even giving us more jobs, which is amazing. Because you know, when you invite someone to come and perform and they do like a bad job, I'll not say the word. It's rare to find someone who says come back and do it again. You know, normally it's like, okay, I want to take you again. So from there, you know, it's been really good when you have people like him who then encourage you to go, keep on pushing. The more you do it, the better you become. So it's been a really amazing experience. So now I count about 11 years of playing saxophone. But I would like to hear more of him explaining of how he would see us grow. You know, because I learned from that also. So let me leave it to him.
Okay.
No, so I think you and I were talking about Joseph earlier. In fact, you know, I was just sharing how when I first met him, he was young. He was 18 years old, and he just had something. I don't know if you know, you and I both agree. You know, we good judges of characters,
Right.
most times, and with Joseph, I saw a future in him. And you know, I knew that he was going to be something. And so the first thing is that, you know, I often tell him that he's still young enough to be my son. And you know, I often tell him that's how I've looked at him.
You're not that old, are you, Blessing?
No, not quite, but you know, getting there. But you know, his talent to learn, the energy, and what really having helped a few musicians along the way because of my love for music, Joseph is completely different to a lot of them. I don't know if you saw yesterday. I mean, besides the amazing music, they're just an act to watch.
Yeah.
Because they are loving what they do. You know, we often say, you know, do what you love to do and you'll never have to work for the rest of your life. I mean, they are a true example of that. And I think because of the energy and wanting to grow and wanting to do more, I've seen him really go from someone to really up there. You know, I've met and been friends with likes of Yu Masekela, you know, Oliver Mtukudzi and all of that. And I promise you, if Yu Masekela were alive today, he would be taking this young man and his band all over with him.
Wow.
Because I believe we have our own Yuma Sekela in Zimbabwe in the making right here, and you know, so it's been nice to see him grow. And you know, we're proud of him, and the best thing, like yesterday, you know, seeing him getting your girls up to dance. I mean, you can imagine you need to have a heart, and kids often are the good judges of, is it safe?
Yeah.
You know, is it exciting? And I mean, I don't think there was a single person sitting. Even the staff came out of the kitchen to dance. So
Yeah.
I think it just goes to show, you know, what hard work really does, and you know how we sit in here. And I think it's quite unique. I quite love this because the four of us here, you know, starting with you, I've known you and your wonderful wife from when you guys were working all over, working in Botswana, but your love for tourism, even during the hard times, you know, we could have all gone in different fields, but we are lovers of making journeys incredible and making people have a good time. I mean, we're a love of people. And to be able to see all this team sitting here, seeing our brother Tinashe, who just loves what he does, I think it goes to show a perfect example of people that love what they do, and then the job comes next. Yeah.
Thanks for those amazing words, and wow, what an endorsement for this young gent, and I believe it's true. I really do, and I think you're going to go, just don't forget Zim, eh?
Yes, exactly. Learn from Tinashe.
Yeah, exactly. So
Zim
Tinashe
is
has
a
actually been sitting quietly over there, and you know, Tinashe, as always, yesterday was just wonderful to hear you talk about your wines. I mean, just to see the continued success that you're having, and you know, the sky continues to be the limit for you. There's two things, you know, we've talked about your story, and you know, so I don't necessarily want to dig back into that. I'll encourage, you know, viewers to go back and I mean, there's so many places they can find your story, but I just want to talk a little bit about your new ventures into coffee and brandy.
Yeah.
Now, don't take this as a criticism, but obviously, you know, you're known for wine. So, I mean, I'm excited about your coffees and brandy, but what makes you sort of, and again, I'm giving a bit of a tough question here, but what makes you believe that leaving wine, which is what you're known for, not leaving it, but letting that carry on and moving into these other products, is that a good move?
Geez, I'd love to say I'm known for KuMusha,
Right.
rather than anything else, and that's been what's driving this, and what's really behind my movement. Wine just happens to be a product. You know, I need to make a living, so I need to sell it. Pretty good at tasting it, judging it, serving it, selling it. But for me, how I look at it is just the whole KuMusha is what I'm known for, and coffee comes from KuMusha, brandy comes from KuMusha. I don't know, maybe Mombes are gonna come from KuMusha. But yeah, so for me, it's just a natural progression of things I love and enjoy. I enjoy coffee every morning. If my grandmother is growing it, I might as well help her sell and market it. I enjoy brandy now and then. If I've got the grapes and wine to make brandy, why not make brandy? You forgot to mention, last week I was in Swaziland working on my own KuMusha glass collection. I've got friends who make glasses. I pour wine in my glasses where I can just have my own glass. But the whole idea, man, I think the whole movement as me, Tinashe, has always been to be successful, but to have an impact as well. You know, I think what lacks in my generation, or people like me growing up in Zimbabwe, or Zimbabwe currently, is the lack of opportunities and ideas. And you know, it might work, the coffee, it might not work, but if I start it and push it somewhere, you know, someone is looking, maybe who's better at me than doing it. But it's just that
that purpose I think I have, just to open these opportunities or just to unlock young minds. You know, you might be playing sax at 27. Who knows in 10 years' time what you'll be doing? So for me, it started wine, and wine was the get and entry to it. But for me, it's always been bigger than one thing. It's always the KuMusha identity.
I love that. You know, it's so true. You know, the brand, people buy your wine because it's called KuMusha, because of your story, and why not any other product? Sorry to those that don't like to smoke out there, but I'm thinking a Zimbabwean tobacco is some of the best. So maybe a KuMusha cigar.
I'm good friends at Mosi are already making nice ones.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
My good friend. And gin has already been made.
Gin
so.
is there. Oh, is there a cigar blessing?
You know, there's a cigar that has actually been done here in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
In Harare by a mutual
Ship,
friend of Tinashe and I's, and it's really, you know, it was interesting because I don't smoke cigars myself, but a friend of mine smokes cigars, Quinton, who you know, and he often, you know, every other night will enjoy a cigar with a nice glass of wine or gin and tonic, and he tried the cigars just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he actually bought a few boxes and he's on his way back to America now to go and share them with his friends. And he said to me, not only is the cigar at a level that is incredible, but it's at a price that is unbelievable. So I think, you know, what excites me and you, I mean, is more than just what we do, but seeing Tinashe doing all these beautiful things, seeing, you know, Joe do all of these things, seeing all these Zimbabweans, you know, come up with something. And I think it makes us proudly Zimbabwean, as me and you always talk, is that, you know, we are so talented, you know, and we love what we do and we love people. And so, yeah, there's a good cigar out there. In fact, you know, I know what to get you for a gift, bro.
I will really look forward to that. You're always giving me gifts, and they're always special. So, yeah, that's really interesting to hear, Tinashe, about that. And you know, I wish you well with your new products, and I'll definitely be there to. I mean, KuMusha wines. So I'm building in my house. I'm building not a wine cellar, but a wine area of the house. And I was just thinking yesterday, I'm going to have the bulk of that will be KuMusha, and I'm not just saying that.
And just to hold you there, I think the first time I came here, Blessing was showing me somewhere he was going to build a downtown cellar there. So
down there.
Yeah. Well, I think that would lend itself very nicely to the boutique.
So I know at least I'm happy because both of us will have stock
Exactly.
on either side of the road. I
Exactly.
mean, what could be better?
Yeah.
Gents, I just want to talk a little bit about giving back. You're a person that gives back a lot. And I think it's important, you know, as far as you're moving forward, you're never losing sight of where you've come from. And we can do that through your story, but at the same time, making sure that you're helping people in the way that you were helped. So, Tinashe, may I just give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about that now, you know, in how KuMusha is helping people in Zimbabwe, or how you plan to help people going forwards. You know, it comes to mind, and it might be not something that you're doing, but are you thinking of an entrepreneurial or a wine school, or ways to get other Zimbabweans enthused behind what it is that, you know, has made you a success?
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's not a single day that I don't wake up with 10 messages from, you know, young Zimbabweans, really inspired and wanting to learn more. And you know, I've made it a conscious decision when I started that, you know, my journey has to be documented. So that's why most people see me out there. And you know, it's one way of giving, because if someone sees someone doing it, that's how I've learned and grown, like seeing people like blessing you and really emulating and kind of working my way out there. So my first, you know, gift and single-handedly way of helping has been me putting myself out there, which is very vulnerable because everyone is watching you, you know, and you gotta maintain that. And obviously the next level I want is, once you build this, it's gotta have a financial end to it. And I don't mean I want to be the wealthiest person on earth, but you know, for it to make an impact, KuMusha has to reach that financial level of success that I see it, and then start filtering down. But in the meantime, there's small ways of helping around, like the coffee project. It's pretty much close to me because I'm helping grandma in the community, and I've been there. I've seen how the kids are not doing anything there. If they understand this coffee beverage that they're growing here, how it ends up in a cup at some basic boutique, you know, it's part of helping. So my journey has been, you know, making that blueprint. But like you said, some bigger projects needs financial backing to do that.
Yeah.
And when it does, what's next? Restaurant, wine school. Yeah. all
Really
those
exciting,
things.
and I hope some of those will be here in
Yeah,
Vic
definitely.
Falls or in Zim.
Definitely.
And we know that you're a Zimbabwean-born South African, but
Yeah.
we want you to be a Zimbabwean-born Zimbabwean. So, you know, we were always jealous when South Africa sort of claims us, but at the same time, the country has given us so much.
Yeah.
So we're grateful to them. Talking about, like you say, putting yourself out there and how vulnerable that makes you. If you could just, you know, briefly touch on Blind Ambition, because I think it's already premiered in Australia, is that
Yeah,
right? But it's
sure, in
due to
Australia.
premiere in the US
Yes.
and the
London,
UK.
London next month.
London next month.
SA in July. Yeah, and I just got a message in the morning. Someone watched the movie on the Qantas from Sydney to I
Oh,
don't know
wow.
where they were going. Send me a screenshot. So it's coming. You know, it's obviously a culmination of my story, Joseph's story, Pardon Malvin, how we got into wine and going into that competition in France. And yeah, it's just a, you know, beautiful story that, you know, at the moment, obviously, if you're the actor in it, sometimes, like he says, it's difficult to look from it in an inward. For me, it's the path I was given, so I can't change it, and I can't go back and say I don't want that story. But I think I always say I'm just fortunate that I'm one of the guys who gets their stories to be told out there. But I strongly believe there are more people with maybe even, you know, more struggles, more stories to tell. But yeah, all I can say, I'm just been fortunate that I'm one of them telling that story. Hopefully it comes to Zim as well soon. But I'm looking forward to the premiere in London, and I think they've sold out 350-seat auditorium already. And Cape
Wow.
Town in July, it's going to be even closer to home. So that I'm looking forward to that as well. And yeah, and hopefully it can have a bigger impact, you know, reach a wider audience and inspire people out there.
Just practically, you know, for people that want to watch it once it's out. If they're in Zim, will there be any way for them to access?
Geez, you know, this filming industry.
Yeah.
if I'd known that documentary, we shot it over 2 years, 2017, 18, and we've just been every single person asking when is it out next. But
Yeah.
from what I learned from the industry, it's done the film festivals. It's now going into cinemas. I know in New Zealand is already available on rent to buy on these
Okay.
Netflixes and Amazons. Is it Amazon? Yeah, Amazon Prime. So I think in South Africa it's going to be cinema as well, then maybe goes to online. But once all the cinemas have done, I think that's where you can reach a wider audience as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be able to watch that soon. And I think that, as you say, you know, getting to that financial level, but that level of where people know you to an extent where now you can really give back. I think this, obviously, it's already happening in Australia, but when the UK, the States sees that, I think, it's just gonna keep rocketing you to the next level. Exciting stuff. Blessing. Guys, I wish we had all day. I am mindful that you know, everybody's got things to do, but I just to sort of maybe close out the discussion a little bit, Blessing, I want to come across to, you're such a positive person, and you know, you care about this country so deeply and about the tourism industry, but beyond the tourism industry as well. And I certainly don't want to touch on politics, but I would like to get a kind of a prediction of where we're heading as a tourism industry, as for entrepreneurs in this country, for people that are worried about being Zimbabwean, that end up having to leave and, you know, maybe find work elsewhere. You know, I know that there's so much to be proud of here, and there are opportunities here at home. Can you talk to that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, you know, we all know that it hasn't been easy, and I think especially for the young people, you know, with so much talent and with very little entrepreneurs that can help. I first and foremost, you know, I want to say that what you and Suzanne are doing, you know, is really incredible, because you know, being able to do things like this, you know, you don't understand who is going to see it or who's going to share it, but they will get to learn about Joseph, and the next thing they're Googling Joseph. Let's see what this music is all about, and opening doors. And I encourage you both to continue to do it far and wide, and even more. That makes me proud is that you are showcasing Zimbabweans and lots of talents and a lot of what happens. I honestly and truthfully feel that we are headed for amazing things in Zimbabwe. You know, not talking about anything else, but just looking at what Zimbabweans have. I mean, you know, you've seen, you know, what I've done outside of the tourism industry. People that have come here and seen the value of what Zimbabweans can do. A simple one, just to share with you. Your kids have the opportunity to go into an innovation hub at the school, you know, and I mentioned Quinton again because we have a mutual friend called Dean Edgar, who has been behind all these innovation hubs. And I think we all ask the question, what next? Because, you know, yes, have these kids learn how to map and code, and what next? What next for Zimbabweans? And you know, I'm very, very excited to say that you know, we have found what is the next stage, what is the next level. And for example, with that, you know, we've got 5 innovation hubs around the country, in Heathcliff, in Harare, in Chinotimba, in Wange. We move into Bulawayo actually, and the plan is going to be going forward that we take 25 students a year that have shown interest in taking that further, and those 25 students would be able to come and do a 12-month course. During that 12-month course, they will be paid for that course, and at the end of that 12 months, you know, we will help secure jobs for them internationally, but working from home. So, you know, look, when we look at opportunities like that, imagine 25 students that will be able to work for some of the biggest corporates around the world, helping map and code, because Zimbabweans are already intelligent in themselves. So that is just a small, just a small pointer in what the future holds for Zimbabwe. But, we can see opportunities opening up, national parks, private sectors. I was speaking to your brother, in fact, Robin Brown and Celianne the other day, and hearing as well from their side what they're doing and the work they want to do for the future, empowering students to data capture and all of that. I mean, it's very exciting.
Yep.
And the only way we can make Zimbabwe successful is to take responsibility ourselves. They say, you can turn lemons into lemonade. We have the opportunities in front of us, and I really feel that more Zimbabweans need to embrace what is going on and not make anything an excuse, and be able to take it further. And I say that for many Zimbabweans that are also outside, that have an opportunity to come back home and work and open and be able to grow and empower. Joseph is a perfect example. I think from when I saw him that many years ago, and he kept on saying, well, what is it going to be, Blessing? Are you going to then give me a bill at the end for everything you've done for me? And I turned around to Joseph and said, no, the only thing I want you to do is I want you to pay it forward. I want you to pay it forward, help another Zimbabwean, just like you're helping Zimbabweans every day. And so I really feel that the destiny and growth for Zimbabwe is up to us. It's not up to the politicians. It's not up to the rules and regulations. As tough as they are sometimes that make it hard for business, it is really up to us to make a difference. It's really up to us to own our own country, to be proud of our own country. I mean, 2 years of COVID was really difficult, but I really feel that, in my heart, that, we have one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I mean, our wildlife is pristine, our natural resources. I mean, I hid a few days, talking to you and being able to stand for wildlife, as you remember. But, during those hard times, the government was able to listen and make a change. So I say, it is really up to us, to face things and to be able to embrace our own country, take the opportunities and empower and take it further. And I really believe so. I really believe that in the next couple of years we will get our roses as a country. The more Zimbabweans that can showcase, imagine the documentary that they're going to watch on Tinashe, listening to someone flying on Qantas. Whoever knew that 4 Zimbabweans, 4 Zimbabweans, I mean, there's so many people trying to get into this, but 4 Zimbabweans are being premiered all over.
It's wonderful.
It's just wonderful. So I really also encourage all the Zimbabweans that are outside, have a role to play to make this country better. By just speaking positively, yes, we have our issues, be it politics or whether they're positive or negative. We have our issues just like any other country. But it is up to us to showcase what we have and the beauty that we have, like you and Suzanne are doing every day. When you post, I follow you guys on Instagram and I often see you guys somewhere. I can literally tell you where you were. I remember a couple of weeks ago you were at Impala Jena. This is a Zimbabwean that is a fan of both of you, that follows you, and I'm sure you're surprised that I've seen that. But it, in a way, this is what all of us Zimbabweans should be doing, showcasing what we have. And I can tell you, many people that watch that will want to go and experience that. But also the most exciting thing is the fact that you're able to move around with your children, showing the world that we are a safe destination. So I mean, we could talk for hours and days, but in finishing, I just wanted to say, we need to take control of our own country and be the citizens, be responsible, and make it happen.
Wonderful word, and I think hugely encouraging to those that get the opportunity to watch this. Now, I know it's not customary to give the youngest the last word. But on this occasion, I think I'm going to just break with tradition and give you that opportunity because, you know, you're the future. 27, I think you're. How old are you again?
38 this year.
38, yeah. I was about to say he's the only one under 40, but so there's two of you under 40. Me, we're
you are the other side, you know, like our young brothers.
Yeah.
Doing that thing proudly. Yeah.
Jose, what's next for you, and what do you want to say to the younger guys out there?
So, I'll say in a nutshell, is I got the privilege to be mentored by Oliver Mtukudzi, who is a legend for us, and I managed to play for him before he passed on.
Wow.
And I always used to dream of doing this, like, you know, playing for him, and, you know, whatever you wish for, whatever you think is impossible. I've just learned that nothing's impossible. So for everyone, I always wanted to have a mentor. So what I've just done actually is for the past 3-4 years, we started a 6-month course where we teach people how to play the saxophone for January to June, which is the half of the year. Then we help them to get events for them, like for a starting point, which is something I hope to have when I grow up, you know. So I would like to just say, you know what, we should never give up. Just always see the brighter side of things. Always see the brighter side of things. Always see a future, and you know what? Let's make the money.
Absolutely, and I think last night you told everyone, said, "Okay, guys, there's no rules, just go crazy." And I love that, and crazy good, and I think people can learn from that. Gentlemen, I really appreciate your time as always. Blessing for hosting us here and giving us a wonderful evening last night. Joseph, meeting you, what a pleasure, man. Wish you every success. Yeah, and Tinashe, maybe we'll cross paths because I'm going to be in the US in October. I think you're going to be there then as well?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Be there, then, you know, we're following this young man everywhere.
Yeah.
He's going to be there. So I think, and I'm hoping that you'll also cross paths with him in September, because me and Suzanne yesterday were just talking about his New York days and what you're doing there. So I really hope that it will cross paths.
Yeah. You know? I know his schedule's hectic, but we'll keep in touch on that. From sunny Vic Falls, so much to be excited for here. Thanks everybody for watching, and catch you next time.